All right, good morning, friends. Great day to be here in the shop. Nice, cool day here where I am. So, haven't been in the shop for quite a while. So, um, looking forward to actually getting a project done here. So today, well, let me go back. A few weeks ago, I posted a video about the bridle joint, the slotting joint, which is out of the teacher's handbook of Sloyd. And in that video, I mentioned that I was going to try to build a tri-square and ask if anybody would like to see the video. Well, I had 5 people reply yes, so hopefully this video gets at least five views. So anyway, one of the great thing about doing a shop tool or shop project, it's very low risk. So you're not giving it away to anybody. If you mess up the shop view or the shop project, no one knows about it except you. And typically you're dealing with some scraps. So you pull them out of the scrap bin and you're good to go. So today, that's kind of what we're going to do here. I got some leftover oak. I actually just bought this from the big box store. It's leftover from another project I did, and that's what we're going to use. I am going to do another video about dimensioning the wood from scratch, taking it all the way down. But this is a good starter project because we're going to use pre-dimensioned wood. Now, there is a downside, a little bit of a downside to using pre-dimensioned wood, and that's because we often think that it's perfect. We buy it from the store, it's already been planed, so you think it's perfect. Well, this particular piece is one of those. I actually, when I bought it, I thought it was perfectly square, but it turns out that there was a little bit of a bow, and if we put this on a known flat surface, you could actually see some light underneath there. That was easy to fix. Just took a light pass at each end and then a full stroke across there. Let me show you kind of what that looks like. I got a light there. So I got to be careful. I don't want to take it out of square now that I've squared it up. But all I did was basically just take a light pass down at this end, a light pass at this end, and then a full stroke all the way across, making sure I get a full-size shaving. All right. And that's all there is to that. We are going to use this old tri-square kind of as a model. But if you don't have a tri-square, if you don't have any kind of square, it's okay. Just make it however you want. This is your project. You make it the way you want. So we just take some rough measurements here. The stock of this is going to be right at 5 inches. And the blade is 8 inches. That seems like a pretty good dimension. So that's what we're going to go with. So in this case, let's mark out pin's getting a little short for the pocket. Let's mark out 5 inches. And this is a case where if you've got a square, that's great. That certainly should be one of the first tools that you buy. If I'm going to be using a bench hook here because I have a bench hook. But this is one of those projects where if the top and the bottom are not square, that doesn't really matter. So these cuts, you want to make them as square as you can just for the looks of it. But what's really important are the sides. Even the faces here, you could round them off to make a more comfortable grip. The only thing that's truly critical is that these edges are square to each other. And then when you put the blade in there, the blade becomes square to those faces. So let's just put this in the bench hook, get the coffee out of the way. We'll take our crosscut saw here. This is Okay, again, we like these to be square, but it really, really doesn't matter. So next thing we want to do then is mark out roughly, let's change views here. All right. So what we want to do is, man, sorry for the confusion here, but I'm looking at the screen and I am significantly behind on the screen compared to what I'm doing here. So there's a much longer lag time than I was expecting. So what we want to do is take our pencil, and because this board is approximately 1/4 of an inch, this is approximately 3/4 of an inch, we're going to line it up here. And we're going to make our mark. Now this is where, if you have a square, this is going to help you. But if you don't have a square, this will still be okay. So let's do that. Okay, that's actually square. Pencil there. And now what we're going to do is take, about 3/4 of the width, because we want to have a little bit standing up above. But again, we're just kind of eyeballing this. All right, let's put it in the vise. And we're going to take out our dovetail saw and put a little oil on there to make it go a little better. And now I've got 2 lines. So remember, light grip, light grip, light grip. Take it nice and easy to get it started. Tighten up the vise here. The handle, riding straight down along that line. Get down to our now we'll come back and try and make that cut as square across as we can. All right, now that we've got that cut, let's straighten it back out. We'll put our piece on here, line it up all the way over on the edge. And now we'll come in with our square. Again, if you had a marking gauge, marking knife, that would actually work better. But what I'm doing is assuming that because this is brand new for you, that you don't have. Nice and tight in the vise. Come to the inside of the line. The reason we want to go to the inside is we can always take more material off. It's hard to put material back on. All right, nice and tight. Cut down to the line and come across the top. All right, let's go back to our other view here. All right, now, because this is about a 1/4 inch, we're going to go with a 1/4 inch chisel. And we're going to treat this like we are cutting a mortise. Okay. Nice and vertical. Stay away from the line just a little bit. Go in just a little bit deeper. See, what happens is, as we take that cut, it actually sends us back and makes it a little bit deeper. Flip over on the other side and we will do the same thing. Cut there, come away. A little bit deeper each time. And then eventually it pops right out. Now that the bulk of it is out, we can begin to clean it up. On this side, clean it up. And in the vise we go. In the vise. And now we take our chisel and we can see where we got some waste in there. Go ahead and clean that up. Make that as square as we can. All right, let's take our board, put it in there, and that's a pretty nice fit right off the saw. All right, a little bit of cleanup to do over on this side again. All right, back to the bench hook. And we want this piece to be about 8 inches. Again, doesn't have to be exact, but we want it to be about 8 inches. Like that mark. Come over here, line it up in the bench hook with the crosscut saw. And there we go. Now let's Where is my mouse? There it is. All right. I'm really curious of what this looks like when I replay it, because I am seeing some really funny things going on here. Okay, we got our blade. Sorry, I was a little distracted there because there's some roughness on here that I didn't see before. So I don't want to take much off because we got a good fit there, but let's go ahead and just smooth back this iron off until we're not taking a slowly advance the iron. All right, much better. All right, got our blade, we got our stock, and sorry, got to reach over here. As we begin to assemble this, and we want to check for squareness, we have to go against a known square surface. Now, if you have a square, which is, it actually makes it easier because you can just come in here and do the measurements like this. Make the adjustments until it's truly square. Okay. But if you don't have a square, or if you want to be able to check it, just go against a known square surface. Draw a line. Flip it over. I can see how we got way out. Square. All right. Flip it over. Let's do it against this front edge. It's actually got a little cleaner cut on the front. Okay. Ooh. See what happens when I get my... The idea was to have this snug enough that, okay, there we go. I wanted a friction fit, but because I think I made my slot just a little bit too much. It's not nearly as tight a fit as I would have liked. So, not to be deterred. All right. So, what we're going to do now is come in with a little bit of 2-part epoxy. Now, the reason I choose epoxy over wood glue is so that I have more time for it to work. A little more time. Okay, just grab a piece of scrap, in this case a shaving, mix that up. mix it up really good. Just take scrap wood, scrap shavings, and put our epoxy on here. Now the first one, I did one of these the other day, and I got the epoxy so close to the line that it actually squeezed out, and had the potential for impacting the squareness of it. And as I say that, I'm doing the exact same thing. I want to keep the bulk of the epoxy away from those lines that I put in there. Okay. And again. Oh, wait. Get a clamp here. That's going to help us. Put some pressure on here. Right now, all I want to do is put just enough pressure to keep it in place, but still allow me to be able to make adjustments. All right, let's come in with our square. Check it. I am way out of square. There we go. Square that up. Put some pressure on it. And let's go ahead and check our inside measurements. It's nice and square. Let's check the outside. And that's square as well. All right, I'm going to need to let this sit for about 5 minutes in order to let that epoxy set up. So normally what I would do is wait the 5 minutes, come back and put some kind of finish on it. But in this case, just so you don't have to wait for 5 minutes sitting around doing nothing, this is my beeswax and mineral oil combination. One, I love how it feels. I love how it looks. All right. So that's how we're going to finish this thing out. One thing that I should have done before I finish it, and that is just kind of relieve these edges a little bit. And you can do that with a chisel. You can do it with a block plane. I'm not really trying to put a chamfer on there. I'm just trying to get rid of the sharp corners, just to make it a little bit more comfortable in the hand. So let's just take a very light shaving there, all the way down. All the way down. You know, this part is completely optional. But once you get in the habit of doing it, you're actually going to kind of like it. It actually helps prevent splintering by relieving that edge, and it makes it a lot more comfortable to hold. You're not dealing with those sharp edges. All right. There we go. Let's go ahead and get a little bit more finish on there. I'll be able to do everything except where the clamp is holding it. And yes, I'm doing this without any gloves on, and it's perfectly okay because this is food grade mineral oil that I bought from the pharmacy. It's actually used as a laxative, and organic beeswax. Look at that. I love how the oil soaks in there, changes the hue a little bit, but not a tremendous amount. All right, friends, that's going to do it for today. Homemade tri-square. Next up, probably be next weekend, will be doing a tri-square completely from scratch, dimensioning all of the boards, getting them square. And when we do that, that really brings into play all of the skills that we've learned so far, because we will be doing cross cutting, we will be doing rip cutting, we'll be doing face planing, edge planing, squaring. So even though this is a very simple tool, it really is going to bring together a whole bunch of the skills that we needed. That's the great thing about this. Low risk project, a lot of fun. Get out there and make something. All righty, friends. That is going to wrap it up. Take care. God bless.